Welcome back to Apex Sci-Fi. We love stories about heroes defeating villains. We love the idea of a chosen one striking the final blow against the Dark Lord. But in reality, evil empires rarely fall because of a sword. They fall because of logistics. They fall because of budget cuts. They fall because someone in middle management decided to outsource a critical component to the lowest bidder. Today's story is about Lord Malakor the Annihilator. He spent 1,000 years building the Omega Cannon, a weapon capable of erasing reality. He had the power. He had the army. He had the will. But he also had an intern named Kevin. And Kevin just wanted his college credit hours. This is the story of how the universe was saved not by courage, but by minimum effort incompetence. If you have ever fixed a problem by ignoring it until it went away, smash that like button. And if you want to see the moment a galactic empire collapses because of a missing battery, subscribe and ring the bell. Checking budget? Funds insufficient. The bridge of the Citadel of Sorrow was silent. It was the silence of anticipation. The massive space station hovered over the peaceful planet of Eden 4. The planet was green, lush, and full of innocent creatures. Lord Malakor stood at the observation window. He was 7 feet of black armor and malice. His cape flowed in the artificial gravity. His helmet was a skull of chrome. At last, Malakor whispered, his voice a deep bass rumble that vibrated the floorboards. The rebellion ends today. With the destruction of Eden 4, hope will die. He turned to his Grand General, Crox. General, is the Omega Cannon primed? Crox saluted. He was a scarred veteran of 100 wars. Yes, my lord. The dark matter reaction is stable. The focusing lenses are aligned. We are ready to fire. Excellent, Malakor said. He walked to the big red button. Every villain needs a big red button. Malakor had installed this one personally. It cost 5 million credits. Citizens of the galaxy. Malakor broadcasted to the fleet. Witness the power of the void. Witness the end of days. Malakor pressed the button. He waited for the earth-shattering kaboom. He waited for the beam of purple energy to tear the planet apart. Instead he heard a sound. Where? It sounded like a car trying to start on a cold morning. And failing. The lights on the Omega Cannon flickered. The hum of the reactor died down. A small puff of gray smoke drifted out of the control panel. Silence returned to the bridge. But this time, it was the silence of awkwardness. General Crox, Malakor said softly. Why is the planet still there? Crox was sweating. I do not know, Lord. All systems showed green. Fix it. Malakor roared. Or I will fire you out of the cannon. Crox turned to his subordinate, Commander Vex. Commander, why did the weapon fail? Vex turned to his subordinate, Lieutenant Growl. Lieutenant, why is the power coupling dead? Growl turned to the chief engineer. Chief, who did the maintenance on the primary power coil this morning? The chief engineer looked at his clipboard. He looked nervous. Well, sir. The primary technicians were busy fixing the espresso machine in the officer's mess. So, I assigned the maintenance task to the junior staff. Junior staff. Malakor loomed over them. Who? The intern, sir. Kevin. Summon. Kevin, Malakor hissed. A moment later, the lift doors opened. Kevin walked onto the bridge. Kevin was a human. He was wearing a baggy hoodie, cargo shorts, and flip-flops. He was holding a half-eaten burrito. He looked about 20 years old and entirely unbothered by the fact that he was standing in front of the most wanted war criminal in the galaxy. Sup, dudes? Kevin said, taking a bite of his burrito. Did you guys call me? I was on my break. Malakor stared at him. You are the one responsible for the Omega Cannon? Technically, yeah, Kevin shrugged. I mean, I'm the junior assistant to the Associate Deputy of Energy Management. It's a long title. No pay though. Just exposure, The weapon failed, Malakor said, pointing a metal gauntlet at the smoking console. Why? Oh, that. Kevin looked at the cannon. Yeah, the power core was blinking red this morning. It meant the Kyber crystal was depleted. So you replaced it? Crox asked hopefully. Well, here's the thing, Kevin scratched his head. I went to the supply closet, right? And we were out of Kyber crystals. Like totally out. Apparently, someone forgot to order more. So what did you do? Malakor asked, his voice trembling with suppressed rage. I improvised, Kevin smiled proudly. Adapt, overcome, survive, right? I found some replacements. You found a replacement for a hyperdense energy crystal? Yeah. I used AA batteries. The bridge crew gasped. Batteries? Malakor whispered. Yeah, energizers. The bunny ones. I duct taped like 6 of them together and jammed them into the slot. It fit perfectly. Malakor closed his eyes. He massaged his temples. You tried to power a planet-destroying superweapon, with batteries meant for a television remote? I mean, it powered up, didn't it? Kevin defended himself. The lights came on. I thought we were good. I figured it would work for like one shot. Efficient. Kevin, Malakor said. The Omega cannon requires 50 terawatts of power. AAA battery produces 1.5 volts. Math isn't really my strong suit, Kevin admitted. I'm a philosophy major. I'm just here for the internship credits. General Crocs, Malakor turned to his general. Why is a philosophy major maintaining my doomsday device? Budget cuts, my lord, Crocs said, looking at the floor. You demanded we reduce operating costs by 15% to fund your new golden statue. We had to fire the certified engineers. We replaced them with unpaid laborers. Malakor looked at his golden statue in the corner. It was very shiny. He looked at the dead weapon. He looked at Kevin, who was wiping burrito sauce on his cargo shorts. Fix it, Malakor commanded. Find a real crystal. We can't, the chief engineer said. The nearest supply depot is 3 sectors away. It will take 2 weeks to ship. I don't have 2 weeks. The rebellion fleet is jumping into the system in 10 minutes. As if on cue, the proximity alarms blared. Warning, hyperspace signature detected. Rebel fleet arriving. They are here. Crocs shouted. Shields up. Weapons hot. The shields? Kevin interrupted. Malakor spun around. What about the shields, Kevin? Well, Kevin mumbled. The shield generator was making a funny noise. A buzzing sound. It was annoying. So, I unplugged it. You unplugged the shields? Just to let it cool down. I was gonna plug it back in later. But then I found this burrito and I kind of forgot. The rebel fleet dropped out of warp. Hundreds of X-wings and cruisers. They saw the massive citadel of sorrow. It was unshielded. It was powering down. It was defenseless. Fire at will, the rebel commander ordered. Explosions rocked the station. We are taking damage. Croc screamed. Structure critical. We need to evacuate. Malakor looked at his empire crumbling around him. He looked at Kevin. You, Malakor said. You are the true destroyer of worlds. Hey man, Kevin put his hands up. You get what you pay for. And you paid me 0. The station began to break apart. Escape pods. Malakor ordered. Abandon ship. Malakor ran to his personal escape pod. It was a luxury vessel lined with velvet. He jumped in. He punched the launch button. Nothing happened. The door didn't close. The engines didn't fire. Malakor looked at the control panel. There was a sticky note attached to the screen. It read, I owe you 1 fusion coil. Borrowed it to charge my vape. Kevin. Malakor screamed. It was a scream of pure existential realization. He realized that evil doesn't lose because good is stronger. Evil loses because evil is cheap. The explosion consumed the pod. Malakor the Annihilator was vaporized. Kevin meanwhile had already left. He had taken the last functional escape pod 5 minutes ago. He drifted through space, eating the rest of his burrito, watching the citadel burn. Whoa, Kevin said, filming the explosion on his phone. That's crazy. This is gonna go viral. He posted it to Galactic TikTok. Caption, work was wild today. Might get fired LOL. Hashtag Intern Life. The rebellion won. They celebrated the destruction of the Dark Lord. They built statues to the anonymous saboteur, who disabled the station from the inside. They assumed it was a master spy. A genius operative. They never found out it was just a guy named Kevin who didn't know the difference between a fusion coil and a battery. And somewhere, in another system, Kevin is applying for a new internship at the Jedi Temple. I have experience with high-tech machinery, his resume says. God help the Jedi. This has been Apex Sci-Fi. We are told that the devil is in the details. But sometimes the devil is just in the payroll department. If you think interns run the world poorly, smash that like button. Comment below. What is the biggest mistake you've ever made at work? Did it destroy a Death Star? Subscribe. And always pay your staff. End of shift.